how different is the Spanish spoken in Colombia than compared to Spanish spoken in Spain or Mexico?
So if you want to communicate with another countries or regions within Colombia, you have to speak a very neutral Spanish, and you can communicate easily. But some of the vocabulary means very different, widely different things. So actually, if you want to listen some interesting song about this difference between Spanish, there is a place in Facebook that has two guys with a guitar. I can send you the link so you can look at it. But for example, capullo, it's a flower in Colombia. In Spain, it's like someone like not too nice, like kind of stupid person. So if you want to say to a girl, you are as beautiful as a capullo. Yeah, so it's kind of different. And once I went to Panama to do a workshop, and they asked me, okay, do a list of all the materials you need so we can buy it. And I was, okay, pillos, cinta pegante, like blah, 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 blah. And they were like, I can't understand a word of what you're saying here. So some things.
And maybe a big difference between Spanish in Spain and in general in Latin America is in Spain they use more past perfect, and we use more simple past to talk in general. So we say we saw it, and in Spain they will say we have seen.
And also, I would add the pronunciation is different in terms of the S and the Z. So we said vos, which is B-V-O-S, and they said both. And so it's different, the pronunciation.
And they use also a lot the personal vosotros, the second person plural,
It's different.
and we don't use vosotros. We use usted. This is also a big difference.
That's like
We don't use vosotros sois de España. No.
it's like English.
Ustedes son de España.
Okay. It's like
Big difference.
so we have different ways of conjugation for the second person of the plural, but also for the first person of the plural. So for example, in Cali and maybe in Medellin they say vos
Like in
to say
Argentina.
you, but in Bogota you say tú or usted. And each of those have a different conjugation for the verb. So for example, in English you say, you run, I run, everyone run, so it's almost the same. And in Spanish it changed. So yo corro, tú corres, it's different. But with the second person of the singular, if you say tú, you say tú corres. If you say usted, usted corre, without the S. But if you say vos, vos corres. So the...
No.
Okay, I don't know. I have a bad pronunciation. Okay,
So just along the same lines here, a few years ago I was trying to develop an internet-based program in English and Spanish. And I asked somebody and he said to me that if you wanted to develop this program so everybody can understand it, you need to bring somebody from Cuba. I don't know why.
I think that Cuba is the most they have the most complicated Spanish. Like it's the less understandable. I think from my perspective. Not really, no, sure. I sometimes actually. One of my friends, he's Cuban, and once he showed me a video like, try to understand this, and that was Spanish, and was Spanish from Cuba, and I can tell you that I understood nothing. I mean, I understood nothing, because it's very, But on the other hand, like Colombian Spanish is considered to be one of the like a more neutral of all around all this Spanish, and comparing, for example, with the Spanish from people from Chile, because people from Chile they speak super fast. People from Argentina they use a lot like the she sound, so they like when you hear someone from Argentina talking in Spanish, they will hear a lot of she sounds. And similar people from Uruguay and maybe some Paraguay a little bit less than them. The Spanish from people from Peru is a little bit similar from the one from us, like it's similar to our accent, but still there is something different in the pronunciation, and as well with Ecuador. So I think that every single country, like a Spanish speaker country, has its own like particular accent, and within the same country there are so each region also like has its own accent. So it's quite interesting.
So in Cuban, you will say taquitra. In Spanish, está aquí atrás. Taquitra.
So I have a second question. Maybe this is for you and everybody in the room who's from Colombia. Recently, the president of the university and a big delegation went to Colombia. So apparently there is excitement about some sort of relationship. But we as faculty would like to advise what are the things perhaps that people need to be aware of when they are trying to develop some sort of cooperation between institutions over there. And especially when it comes to students and stuff like that. Yeah.
Thanks for asking. This is a very nice question. Actually, in last year, in 2010, they started conversations, and last year they signed an agreement between like the similar NSF in Colombia, which is called Conciencia, and between Purdue. So we are trying to invest the money of regalías, royalties for technology, science, and engineering research. So what they want us to do, like Purdue, is to do links between professors back in Colombia and professors here. These first years, they are focused on nanotechnology. Nanotechnology. Sorry. Nanotechnology and biotechnology, and we are bringing more PhD students to strengthen these links. And maybe someone wants to say something else about this.
There are actually some Purdue students who are going to Colombia, like 10 or something.
Yeah,
like that, I think so.
There's going to be like a summer course that they can take some credits. So it will be a
Do you know which department is that?
Mechanical engineering, I
So
think.
global engineering.
Global engineering. Right. And actually in ethics, there is a project with Choco, which is a region in the Pacific region of Colombia, and we have, and also in Barbosa, which is in Antioquia, we have some projects to help the community working here in Purdue.
You could talk with Professor Arvin Rahman or Jean-Paul Alain. They are very involved in this agreement between Purdue and Colombia, and they could give you more advice about it.
Okay, how about you as students and trying to encourage students to be interested? Because study abroad experiences depends on the success in the study abroad depends on the students' impressions in a particular country. Either if you kill it, it will. So, what kind of things that you can do to encourage students from the university who have never traveled the world to go to Colombia?
I mean, there are. I think that there are. I mean, Colombia is a beautiful country. Like places, we have. I don't know, island, very exotic. Like food is delicious. And besides, it's full of opportunities. It's full of opportunity for development, for research. So actually, there was I'm sorry, talking to one of the professors here, they were telling that sometimes it's very hard for them to like write a proposal because they have to like really think like a lot. They create a problem. But there are many things like Colombia's the economy is growing and is evolving, and there are many like areas in which the students here can like contribute a lot and they can learn at the same time.
I would add that beyond that, the point in the agreement is that Colombia improved the technology knowledge. And also, we need to be aware that there are some kind of projects that maybe sometimes it's difficult to do here in the U.S. given the climate conditions or given the species that you have here. And sometimes that conditions could be given in Colombia. So for some students, master students or PhD students or even undergrad students, the experience to be there could be open the door to improve the research for specific areas, for specific problems that would impact directly our society. Okay? So basically what Purdue is looking for is, has a research with impact in the society. And Colombia is, I would say, the best place to do it because you can find a problem there and you can find the resources with the agreement between Purdue and the Colombian government, you can find the resources to solve those problems. And as Mariana said, we have three focus areas: biotechnology, nanotechnology, and also the environmental area. So there are a lot of opportunities to work there. And also in Colombia, we have the industry is involved. We have a company which is EPM. It's the biggest company that provides the kind of utility company, and they are totally engaged with this project, and they want to, make Colombia turn the corner in the next 10 or 20 years. We need to improve our competitiveness in the long term. And that's the main goal, and we need to keep that in mind. For graduate students, there are a lot of opportunities. We have funding for 5 years, which is pretty good. We can, Colombian students can come here at Purdue for 5 years, and we will have everything for expenses and the scholarship for 5 years. And for Purdue students, they can go to Colombia and do their research there and come back here. Or if they want to stay there, they are welcome.
And if they spend more than 1 month or 1 semester, they will be able to improve the language, the Spanish.
Yeah.
And they will fall in love.
Exotic country.
But it will not work in this way.
And they will fall in Spanish. So, está aquí atrás, no, está aquí atrás.
I imagine it's a pretty welcoming environment. Yeah, exactly. So that's, I think a lot of students who haven't traveled a lot, that's a big fear that's going on. And I don't know anyone that I really, like I will stand out as an odd person, but in some of these cultures, it's like they'll bring you into your family.
Yeah, I think that's very true.
After, I think Colombia is the richest country in biodiversity. Brazil is maybe number 1, but Brazil is maybe 3 times Colombia. So in Colombia, as Mariana was presenting, we have a lot of climates, landscape, mountains, glaciers, 2 oceans, rivers, Amazonas, and there are a lot of opportunities to do some research concerning, for example, natural products. We have a lot of plants. Once I was reading, Germany has something like 4,000 different types of plants, something like that. And Colombia, we have, that we know at the moment, more than 40,000. So it's a very rich country in biodiversity and natural resources. So Colombia is a very good start point in South America, maybe the best.
Also, students, when they travel, they look for, if they are going to get sick, if it's safe for them, can they communicate? As you know, that this young generation, they don't want to buy a car, but they want to have an internet connection. So what do you say to that?
Yeah, so it depends on the region. As you know, Colombia has We have some issues with the gorilla and the security, but it depends on the region. So if you go to the biggest cities, it's the same as the biggest cities in other parts of the world. Like you have like similar security issues. I'm gonna give you the word. I'm sorry. But if you go to some like we call red places, red zones, it's more risky to go there. You know, so if you are aware of that knowledge, you won't go to those regions, or you will be more informed about what you can do, right? But in general, in the cities, it's okay. Also, if you want to communicate with people in Colombia are very friendly. You can ask anyone that has come to Colombia, and they will agree. It's very, very friendly. So if you don't know Spanish, a lot of people in Colombia speak English, and even if they don't speak English, they will help you. And yeah, it's very, very friendly. The internet, we have nice service in some places. In general, we can have access to internet.
I just wanted to add that I know that usually people feel afraid to go to Colombia, and I had a friend, American friend, and last December he decided to travel to Colombia, and his parents were really afraid for, because he was going to Colombia, and he said, no, I want to go, and he made a plan, and he decided to visit Cali, Bogota, Medellin, and Cartagena in 2 weeks. And he survived perfectly. Nothing happened. And he's so happy, and I can give you his information. I know that he will be really happy to give you his experience and his perspective about how was the trip. And now he has changed that stereotype about that it's dangerous to go to Colombia. I just want to clarify that the prototype that we usually have about the dangerous country, the stereotype that we have about a dangerous country is in the forest. And we don't live in the forest. We have all the series, and in that series you find internet in hotels. You find internet in the mall. You find internet in the libraries. You find internet everywhere, and cell phones everywhere.
You should keep in mind that Colombia is about 3 times France and about maybe 40% or 50% rainforest. So it's very difficult to control all the regions. So this is the reason why we have this drugs problem.
No, and I also want to say something that I am a Fulbright scholar, and before coming to the United States, I met some Americans. So there are American students that are from the Fulbright program, and they are doing research or working in universities there in Colombia. So they have this program has been like sustained there for several years. So for a long period, American students have been going to Colombia to do research, to study, and they usually sometimes even go to the areas where they are maybe also isolated, but there are very good conditions. And actually, the history of Colombia has changed a lot. It is true that maybe 50 years ago, or it was like in a very critical situation, but during the years it has been like very like it has improved a lot. And I think I will say that nowadays Mexico could be a little bit more dangerous than Colombia for the news that you have here and all those things. So I don't know.
Okay.
And the other thing, the last thing, like before coming to the United States or before going out from Colombia, I had not that I had more expectations, but I thought that the things were completely different, like outside the country, outside Colombia. And when I came here, I saw everything, and it was like not as the same as I don't know. For me, it was expecting maybe different, or because I don't know, or some people from abroad consider Colombia to be as without technology, without development, without I don't know, some kind of stereotype. So it's not like that, and I can tell you that it's like kind of the same. Like life is the same here, and I have been to Russia, and it's kind of similar. So I think that the war is going like kind of at the same time, even though there are like some years or like the evolution of each country is going in a different way. But it's for me.
So we have to move on to the next part. So just to close, like a closure, we some years ago we used to have propaganda.
Advertisement.
That was said, Colombia, the only risk is you want to stay. So, yeah.
I have a request when you are talking about this. When I see these beautiful pictures, and I don't see birds, I don't see reptiles, I don't see animals, and you are talking about biodiversity, there is something missing. You have very beautiful, and I can argue birds are more beautiful than flowers.
Yeah, right. I figure out when I finish the
Next time,
presentation.
yes, put few of
So
those.
next time I'm gonna put flowers, animals, and
Yeah, I'm glad you put the dolphin at least. I'm not totally offended, so
No,
that's
no,
all.
no. But yeah, you're right. I figured that out when I finished. So.
But for example, I also read that for species of frogs, birds,
Yes.
I think that Colombia is the country with number one in
You have
It's
it.
the third
I know you
country
have it.
with the
Yeah.
highest diversity of birds.
Butterflies is number one, I think, in like country in diversity of butterflies.
Wonderful diversity in Colombia. Actually, this was brought